Hello, it's Tina Brinkley Potts, business strategist, online marketing trainer, and success coach. And today I'm so excited to bring with me my writing team. Doing all of those things, taking 2 companies to 7 figures this year, you can't do that alone. You have to have people. So I'm bringing the people that help me do what I need to do on this webinar, or at least a couple of the people that help me do what I do. So first I'm going to introduce Candice and the wordsmith. So Candice, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Certainly. Good evening and good afternoon and good day and whatever time it is, wherever we are in the universe. I am Candice Ifama Barnes, and I am the wordsmith. I am founder and CEO of Masterful Communication, where we provide you solutions to having the communication that gets your message across to the people that need to hear it so you make money and have fun.
Great, great. And so, Candice, thanks for coming today. You guys know how important it is to me to help other people grow their businesses, and I know by content that's one of the best ways of doing it right now. So next I'm going to introduce Miss Copyright Brown, and her real name, her government name is Yolanda. So Yolanda, why don't you say a little something to the audience?
Well, hello everyone on the planet Earth and beyond. I'm Yolanda Brown, and I'm the principal and founder for Copyright Brown. We are tickled to death about serving artists, educators, and business leaders who are thought exchangers. They expand the conversation everywhere they are. So we're a little boutique company, and we love that about ourselves. So we're about helping you collaborate with strategic partners, engage your ideal audience, so you are driving the conversation, not trying to catch up with it.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. I think that was great. Great introduction.
Hot.
Yeah, I know. She's making me wiggle a little bit over here.
What?
I'm bringing, this show is really about content strategies and what works in 2014. If you guys don't know me, or if this is the first time that you see me, first and foremost, I'm normally a little bit more dressed up than I am right now, but I have this eye thing going on. You will never, ever, ever, ever see me in glasses, but I have this thing going on because I had a cold, so glasses it is. But, you know, that's not going to stop the show, because I need for you guys to really get what you can do in the next 6 months. You see, I help people move from $0 to 6 or 7 figures. I've helped people add a digit to the income, 10x their income. And one of the things that you have to have is great content. I brought these 2 ladies on because I'm going to let them give their perspective of how they help, business owners or professionals, whatever, help get their content so it's attractive. And we're going to kind of break it up a little bit, because most people, we'll talk about social media first. And I'm actually going to break up the platforms a little bit, because that is not the only thing you need to do for your business. Most people think they're going to just do Facebook, or they're going to just do Twitter. You really should have an overall strategy. That definitely takes the top 3, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, but you also should have content that's going to your home base, which should be your website. So let's talk a little bit about Facebook first. So ladies, and Candice, let's start with you. Talk a little bit about some of the way you write on Facebook. I think you've been doing a marvelous thing. You've been sharing your health journey on Facebook, right?
Sure. And for me, one of the keys to growing your business, and really success in life in general, in my opinion, is being authentic. You know, I know that's one of your themes, Tina, and it's something that I appreciate you for, is that you are real, and whatever's going on, even like you said today, a few little while ago, you would not be showing up. This hangout would not be happening because there's no way you would have put yourself on the camera. First of all, with a red eye and glasses, wouldn't be happening. So I said that to say that when we allow ourselves to show up as our real selves, as our authentic selves, being who we are, people appreciate it, and they get to know us, and they can learn to like us and trust us. And so what I've been doing for the last few months is I decided that I wanted to reclaim my health. And what that looked like was I was pretty out of shape, and I was having a hard time moving around. I couldn't stand up very long. It was not pretty. And so I decided I wanted to do something about it. And what that looks like is I exercise daily. I eat pretty well most of the time. And I hold myself accountable by making a post on my Facebook, my main Facebook page every day. Well, not as much every day now, but at least several times a week, just updating on what's going on with me in my life in general, but specifically my commitment is to stay authentic about what's happening. And some days it was like one day I had the revelation that I had an emotional eating component. Who knew, right? So I discovered that and I shared it. And by doing that, people get to know me and trust me and feel comfortable with me because they know that who they see is who I am. And that's an important piece of any content that you create. Not that you're trying to impress people or be something that you're not, but be who you are, whoever that is. And you will attract to you the people you're supposed to work with by doing that.
Yes. First, Yolanda, I think you got some kind of little beating or something going on because it keeps driving the camera back to you. So I don't know what that is, but even though you're not talking, you have something that keeps driving the camera back to you. So I wanted to say that. But Candice, okay, let's talk about some of the benefits that came along with you doing this. Because I mean, think about it. You did this for yourself.
Right.
You weren't doing it for anyone else. You were doing it so you can start being accountable to yourself. And one of the ways you figured out is if I am posting daily about this journey, then I'm posting what I'm eating. I'm posting that I'm exercising, and I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to tell the truth that there will be I can be accountable to myself for what I'm doing. But there's been some other stuff that's happened from it, right?
Absolutely. And another piece of my writing, my journey as a writer, and my belief, my commitment as a writer, is that I write for me. And so whether or not anybody else gets anything out of it, I'm writing to tell my story. I'm writing to get my piece out there. And so one of the benefits that's come from that is that I've gotten a lot of people who've been attracted to what I'm doing. I've had people who have become clients of mine, and I have increased my income significantly as a result of just sharing my journey. And I've so I know this is what you're waiting for, T, and so I'll give it to you. So I, as a result of sharing my story and writing for me and writing what I needed to hear and what I needed to say, Toni Morrison says, if you want the book that you want to read, you have to go write it. So in that theme, I write for me. And so one of the things I did was I just started writing for me, and I started creating this column called Sacred Musings. Well, out of that, I was approached by a multiple New York Times best-selling author by the name of Yolanda Van Zandt, yes, thank you, who asked me to join her writing team. And so I am now on her writing team, and I have, in addition to being on her writing team and doing ghostwriting and some other projects for her, I now have a piece in her most recent book, Forgiveness. So if you go to Forgiveness, you'll see a piece that I wrote there that is published in a book by Yolanda Van Zandt, who is somebody that I have admired my whole life just out of doing me. So at the end of the day, do you, and all kinds of good stuff comes from it.
Okay, so yeah, so before we even move on any further, let me kind of recap. So first and foremost, it's called showing up. There's a lot of times you will beat the drum of why you can't, or you will keep yourself in this perpetual cycle of starting stuff and not completing. But if you just show up for yourself and stop worrying about what everybody else has to think, things will happen for you. When Candice started writing Sacred Musing, she literally just really did write for her. What was it that was on her heart that day? And she wrote for her. And out of that, she had more opportunities than just, and I don't want to say just, because, just Yolanda Van Zandt is not, there really shouldn't be a just in front of that. But she had more opportunities that came out of that. Again, income generating possibilities became on her writing team. And that really is just from writing about your own heart's desire. My heart's desire is to help other people. I have 2 businesses that I do that with. I have a home care business that I send people into homes to help people, and then I have this where I'm transforming people's lives so they can control their money and be able to be with their families and have a business that they love to go to every day, just like I do. So the only way people can know that is really by sharing. And so when Candice started sharing, she let the world show up. So Yolanda, you have, you might not have, attracted, Miss Yolanda Van Zandt, but
I attracted Tina Brinkley Potts.
Oh.
Yeah, I touch and agree with that, Miss Yolanda, absolutely, because working with Tina has changed my life.
I receive and accept that love message, don't you?
Yes.
My friend Candice,
yes,
I don't know
absolutely.
what you came to do. I don't know what you came to do, but I came to praise.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, let it in. Let it in.
Yes. So, yes, but Yolanda and I met at a conference, and we were talking about where she was in her life. Mm-hmm. And so the thing I asked her, I said, can you tell a story? And literally she started telling us a story. Candice, you were there.
Yes.
She started telling us a story, and it was hilarious.
It was.
And so then right then and there we decided that she could chart another path. Mm-hmm. And in charting that path, and after, we did a coaching session and started just deciding that where she was going to go from there. Now she's been attracting all kinds of people, right?
Yeah. My screen has just gone black, but can you see me?
We can see you.
Okay. Well, it's exactly how she laid it out. I was reluctant the evening they were having a networking event at this conference, and my roommate was like, get dressed, come on, we're going to go down. I'm like, I'm going to have a date with hgtv. I don't have anything cute. Let's go. So I get ready, I go down, and I happen to sit at this table, these diamonds, and the list, can you tell a story? So I tell a story to
Oh, did Yolanda drop? Her internet connection must have dropped a little bit.
Are you there, Yolanda?
Hello?
Hello?
So we'll let Yolanda come back on once she's available to tell the story and reconnect it. But, one of the biggest point of this is that you really got to start telling the story of the journey that you're going through.
Absolutely.
And that journey could be about your business. It could be about something personal. Candice, for you, it was your health. For me, it's a little bit of everything at this point because I just want people to know that you can live your dream life no matter where you think you started, no matter where you think you were yesterday. You can start today and really begin to live your dream life. And I just know that that happens from the content. So let's
Absolutely.
give some good strategies. Let's, until Yolanda can jump back on, let's kind of give a great strategy that people can start with. And so the first one, Candice, I'm going to give is, the age-old have a blog. You got to have the blog. And your blog has to be shared. And most of the time, people are looking for things to talk about, and I'm saying that you really can talk about anything.
Really, you really can.
Because Candice, right now, you are a writer. That you are a writer.
Yes, I am.
But you've been talking about your journey with your health, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been talking about. And at any given moment, I'm talking about anything else. I do talk about my health journey. I talk about my writing. I talk about content creation. I talk about whatever I'm moved to talk about. And the lesson in that is to really just show up and be authentic. Yes, there's all kinds of strategies for planning out how you do it and what you say and, the content calendar. And I'm not saying that those aren't important, because they are. They really are important. At the same time, sometimes I think that we trip ourselves up, and we make it a lot harder than it needs to be, because we are trying to fit into a formula that somebody else created for them. Right. And when we can just write what matters to us, what feels good to us, what we want to say, what we care about, and if we do that and be consistent about it, the willingness to show up and share the truth of who we are, whatever that looks like, the good, the bad, the ugly, then people will see that. And again, the people who are looking for us and may not even know it will connect with us.
Oh, absolutely. You just have to show up. Again, yes. That really is the thing. Yes. So you just have to start writing. Yes. Having a content calendar. It's important.
Right.
Having, for me, SEO is important. I know a lot of people out there aren't thinking about SEO because all they're thinking about is being social and getting a whole bunch of likes and all of that kind of stuff. But for me, SEO is important. So, there are a lot of layers to it, but it doesn't matter how many layers you have if you never start.
Well, and something that I want to say just to that, speaking of this whole business around getting likes, because, there's also now this phenomenon where people are going out and buying likes, and I know you know about this.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is that it is much more effective to have 150 people that you are truly engaged with, who love what you say and are connected to you and are looking forward to what you're saying, than it is to have 5,000 people who you don't know, have no relationship with, and who really don't really care about what you have to say. So it's not, it is a numbers game, but it's not the numbers game that we've been told that it was, is what I'll say about that.
Yes, and I'm going to qualify what you said just a little bit. So
sure.
When Candice is talking about buying likes, she's talking about these people who will say, for $20, I'll go find you 1,000 likes. You don't want to do anything like that.
Right.
Because it's not worth it. And I gave a really great example on a webinar that I did earlier in the week, and one of those reasons is because your algorithms, how much you show up in the news feed, is really based on how many people are engaging with your page. So that's again, right. If you have a Facebook page, for instance, and not a profile, but if you have an actual page and you go look, you will actually see that your posts are only being seen by a percentage of the people that have liked your page.
A tiny percentage.
A tiny percentage. And that goes, and there's two major factors that are in that algorithm. There's a lot of other things, of course, so I'm not going to say I know the exact algorithm, but the two things that are major in that is, first off, how much engagement you have on your page.
That's right.
And who is on and available at the time that you send out that post.
That's
and
right.
So we can tell those kind of things on a Facebook page because, you know, that's why you get a page, so you can get the insights and know. But on your profile, that same thing is happening. You just don't get all of that. So you're
That's
wondering
right.
why some people haven't responded because they haven't seen it.
Right. Right. And the more people that respond, the more people that see it. Because I've noticed that, for example, speaking of my weight release journey, I did a post where I posted how much I weighed when I started and how much I weighed after 6 weeks of doing a particular program. And literally, the numbers kept growing and growing and growing. And I've noticed that the more somebody comes and likes a post, then I notice other people coming and liking it. So there's something in the algorithm about, again, the engagement and just being connected to people. I mean, this is not rocket science. You know, at the end of the day, we've gotten a little bit too dependent on, if you will, being behind technology as opposed to really connecting with people live. So
yeah, yes. So that is a great point, and it is a great point that you have to start.
Yes.
You have to
Bottom
start.
line. Yep. Somewhere.
And you have to give up all of the perfection.
Yep.
You know, that disease is a disease that will keep you broke.
Right.
For instance, Yolanda dropped off. It was okay.
We've had a little Ohio
back.
weather.
Right.
Weather. It's been storming and stuff this evening.
But
Sorry
most
about
people
that.
would be like, "Oh, it's not going perfectly." You know, it is what it is. It's technology, but
Right.
you're here and you show up.
That's right.
You know, that's a big part of getting started when it comes to your content.
Yep.
So Yolanda, we're going to just slide back to you a little bit so you can finish telling that story that you dropped we couldn't hear.
Okay. So I was in the hotel room, and my roommate wanted me to go down to this networking event, and I didn't really want to go. I just wanted to have an evening with HGTV. I was happy when it all was said and done that I had gone. I met some wonderful people, and I met Candice and Tina just had great questions, and one of her questions was, can you tell a story? And I told a story which for many people would be like they wouldn't tell that story. It involved pulling my pants up to my throat. It involved standing on a table and speaking in a funny voice to middle school students. What is cool about that? Zip, nada. But what it was like I said, Lord, these two girls are going to fight. I don't know what to do. So the Lord said, get on the table and pull your pants up. So that's what I did. And I, in my strange and wonderful way, I was able to block two girls being negative with each other. I mean, once they saw me on the table with all my fluffy showing, they were, you know, what fight? Jimmy and Cricket, I have to go wash my brain.
Yes,
So,
but I know because we could really go into that story and you could really make me laugh again.
No, I won't. I won't.
Let's talk about how we met. We started there. You know, you and I had a coaching session, and then you had your charge, and now what's happening with you?
Well, what's happening with me? Sometimes you just need a little wind behind you. I'm a pretty self-professed person. I would say pretty actualized person, but I just had a dip. And when I met Candice and Tina, it was like, oh, thank you. It's almost like metaphysically they were positioned to be on either side of me at that event. I didn't go there to meet people. I didn't go there to do anything but to serve the person I showed up for. And since then, because of their friendship and their professional courtesy they've extended me, I am now writing for fashion stylists. I'm writing for one of the biggest interior designers in the San Diego area. I am getting ready to work with a young author out of Oklahoma City to help him do his 3rd book. I'm ghostwriting for a person who's in a leadership role for the arts in Ohio. So it's just like super splendid. It's just super splendid.
And just in a matter of a couple of months, because I want to reiterate this, and I know I'm taking over, Tina, so you can tell me to go somewhere and sit down. But, but you know, I want to reiterate, you showed up to serve.
Yes.
And you showed up being willing.
Yes.
And from that, in not even 75 days, in less than 90 days, you have turned your business around. Birthed a business, as a matter of fact.
And I imagine by September 9th, which is my birthday, one of my birthdays, I have a half birthday too. In March.
Me too. Yeah.
But I imagine if I keep doing the steps.
Not if, as you keep.
No, as I keep my steps and I rinse and repeat, I will replace my monthly income from my teaching job.
Yes.
I see that. All I do is put the thought in front of me, I meditate on it, I surround myself in goodness, and I just keep walking towards it.
Yes. Touching and agreeing.
Yeah, so, you know, I really didn't plan on having church up in here today. I wanted to talk about content strategy.
Now, you can't talk about content without spirit.
Right.
Because what are you getting? You can go on some internet site all you want, pay 99 cents, and get all the content you want.
That's right.
But if you want a living voice that's engaging, that's relevant, that's worth somebody reading, following, using, I can't do it without spirit.
That's right. Say so. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So now you guys can see why I use these two ladies, why, you know, they help me serve 25 different countries right now. So literally these two ladies, let me kind of talk a little bit about how I use these two ladies, and I'm going to let them talk a little bit. So Yolanda, I'm going to start with you.
I don't know. Every time I hear you talk, I just want to start singing songs. Use me. Use me, baby. I don't know. Tina,
okay, I'm trying to stay on point here. Okay.
I'm on point. Go ahead.
So, Yolanda, let's bring it back. Yolanda does a lot of my posts, like Facebook posts, Twitter, and she helps me with, you know, the day-to-day content that I have to get out. I have, again, I'm serving 25 different countries. I have clients that I do all of their marketing, not just online marketing, but I do all of their positioning out in the world. They just want to go be the experts or whoever they are, and they want me to do the rest. So having that, I can't do all of the writing. So Yolanda does a lot of those things. And Yolanda, you hit on a good thing that I think is so important, because I did try to go find like people in other countries to do my writing, and I don't know anybody else, but I couldn't send out not one of the articles without spending a lot of time with it, and that's not what I wanted. I needed somebody who was going to write pretty much the way I talk. I mean, you know, you guys can clean it up a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that it was going to have my voice. So touch a little bit on, you know, I don't really want you to get into pricing, but I know to have your social media presence updated, I mean, you have packages that start at $97 a month.
Yeah, because I wanted it to be a non-negotiable, that you can be present and powerful for under $100 a month. And people are spending $100 a month on tea and coffee every morning.
Yeah.
But it's not going to drive anything to your funnel. It's not going to create generational wealth for your family. It's not going to create the spiritual legacy that you want to leave on the planet. So, I mean, I feel like I work at a gift shop, and every day I can give just a small thing that really like elevates someone's life, gives them time back in their hand. And I mean, just starting at under $100. I mean, where does that happen?
Yeah, where does that happen? And the great part about the great part is when Yolanda writes for me, she knows I'm pretty quirky. I say what I want to say, and
Yes.
so don't clean it. So don't clean it up. You know, I'm not asking you to clean it up, but she makes sure the point comes across. So a lot of times we might do a recorded call so she can hear something, or she can go watch my video. She can do whatever it is that I've done, because I do a lot of video, and she can write from that. So I think that is an important thing to know. And Candice, on the other hand, Candice can do those same things, and you know, so truthfully, they can be interchangeable. But I'm just saying the way that I utilize these two ladies. They could do, I'm sure they got way more in their arsenal than I use.
Isn't she nice? Ooh, thank you.
But Candice is the, you know, Candice has a way with those $2 words. You know, I used to like to use the 2-cent words. Candice uses the $2 words and make me sound so smart. And she names my products. You know, she says stuff like weaving a tapestry. And you know, and so she names my products for me. She because that's important in the internet, having a good name of a segment, having a good headline, having a good you know, everybody wants to see acronyms and all of those kind of things. So Candice, I'm gonna let you touch on that though.
Well, to be honest, I just consider myself blessed to be really, you know, 100% transparent. I could say a whole bunch of stuff, but at the end of the day, I open myself to spirit. I really do, and let it flow. And I have been a voracious reader for my entire life. I mean, since I don't even know when. I have loved to read books, and I tell people that if I'm in a room and there's nothing to read, I will read the cereal box. Seriously, because I just love reading, and out of that, I've collected words my whole life. You know, and they just make my heart sing and my ears happy, and so. But it's not about just using the $2 words gratuitously and using them just because you have them, or using them inappropriately. It's about having it be just precise. One of the things that I just have to speak to, one of my mentors and people that I hold near and dear as a writer and as so many other things, is Dr. Maya Angelou. And one of the things that I admired about her most was her ability to turn a phrase in a way, and Tina talks about this, in a way that didn't have you feel like you were down here, but she had you feel like you were here, and then you all went higher together. And so watching her do that, and watching her be able to inspire people with just the most exquisite word. I went to see her a couple years ago, and she was telling a story, and she said, and the gentleman pulled out his valise. And I thought to myself, what an exquisite word. I mean, first of all, nobody even uses the word ever anymore anyway. But those of us who know that word, you have an immediate image of a person that has a valise, because not just everybody has a valise, a briefcase by another name, but it's a very particular kind of briefcase, and it's a particular kind of gentleman that walks with that particular kind of briefcase. And so she painted the whole picture. And so that's what I seek to do, is paint a picture with my words, but not so that anybody feels inferior or anything like that, but really just to call us to a higher part of ourselves, to make us want to be better. You know, there are people who say that you shouldn't use big words. Well, I don't buy that. I don't buy the theory that we should write at a third grade reading level. I just refuse to, because I know that people want and they hunger for more. And so when we give it to them, it calls them to want more. And so I collect words, and I tell people that I mentor that you should walk with a notebook or some filing system for words. So when you hear a word that you don't know, write it down, make a note of it, and make sure you go look it up and have it become a part of your toolkit so that you grow yourself and you grow your vocabulary. Again, not just for the sake of using words to use words, but because the language is just so rich and compelling, and you see how it lights me up. So I'm going to stop before I go too far.
Well, but well, I do want to talk a little bit about the $2 words, though, because, you know, I am of the school that if you are online, there is called the I think it's the Fleischman score or something, but it's talking about if you're writing above a 5th grade level, then you are speaking over top of someone's head. And so the great thing, and this is why I go to Candice for this, and Candice, you know, learned this by studying Dr. Maya Angelou, is that when she uses a $2 word, as she was saying, you understand what that word means in the context, the way that she used it.
Yes.
So you're not sitting there going, I got to find a dictionary and I got to go look up. You're not, and you don't feel like someone is just using big words just because they can and they have verbal diarrhea and you're like, you know what, they're just trying to be too darn smart. That's not how you feel when Candice does something. She literally does it in a way that she knows. For me, the important thing that I love to do, especially with my clients, is I love to meet them where they are, and I want to grab them by the hand, and then I want to take them where I want to go, or not where I want to go, but where they want to go. Right. And so the only way to do that is I have to let them know that there is an opportunity. Whatever that goal and that dream is that they have, they can achieve it. So we do that very well in the content that's been generated. I know I got to be mindful of the time, so I don't want to go too much further, but I brought these ladies on because there are a lot of people out there who can profess to do a whole lot of things. There are a lot of people out there who might be doing things for popularity. Yes, we do need likes and all of those kind of things, but if you're in this to make money, you need to have excellent content and not just words to feed SEO, not just the right keywords. It really has to be engaging, that people want to read it, that they feel like you even understand what you're talking about. Because we can all go to the dictionary and we can all write stuff down, or we can all go look at an article and try to copy it and make it into our own language. But when you're looking at my content, you can feel that I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And that happens because of these two ladies. So, you know, ladies, we have about 10 minutes, so I'm not going to do the talking in this 10 minutes. I'm going to let you guys do the talking. And one of the things I want you to do is I want you to give one strategy that you think people should use right now, but then I also want you to give contact information and maybe talk about a product or a service that you have that's either launching or you're doing right now so that people can know how to contact you.
Great. Go ahead, Miss Yolanda.
One strategy I like when I'm working with clients is I like to get them to do a mind map, just to throw out every idea in their mind, their head around the subject they want to cover or the idea they're trying to work through for their business. And I don't want it to be perfect, so I don't want it to be neat and pretty. I mean, make it as ugly as possible, but just dump everything out. I talk to people about what kind of music do you listen to when you're trying to ramp up your energy or bring yourself down. I talk about those kind of things. And I read everything I could possibly read that they've already published online. And I ask for printed material and that sort of thing. And I start to get the elements and the essence of who this person is so that I'm not creating some robotic persona of who this person is. And in doing that, you know, like I said, I offer a package that's under $100, but that gives you blog content that you can also use on your website. That gives you at least 2 of those a week. It gives you 10 weeks of contact, 10 days of contact on your any social media kind of channel that you pick that you want. And I will even go on and do half-an-hour engagements with your audience. And I just think that's really neat. And I'm a person, I will talk to you for free. You know, a lot of people, they stop the conversation because they are billing hourly for every second of something. You know, your gift up front will always be an abundant background. I don't worry about the money. The money is there. Money is energy, and it always moves. So that is not the concern for me. But one of the easiest ways to find me is via Facebook, Copyright Brown, and copyrightbrown@gmail.com. And you can ring me at 614-526-8278.
Good, good. Candice?
Sure. So a couple things. That was really great, Yolanda, and I love what you're doing in terms of, seriously, I mean, I think it's fabulous that you have created a way for, as you said, anybody to be able to begin to build themselves and get their message out there. And the questions that you ask are important because sometimes people don't think about the whole of themselves. So to ask people what they do to ramp themselves up and to bring themselves down. I love that. I love that. I'm actually going to borrow that strategy.
Yes.
As I'm
I'll send you everything tonight.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. I'll take it. I am a shameless student, so I am always studying people. I mentioned Dr. Angelou, but as you can see, this is only a portion of the thousands of books that I consider myself blessed to own. So in terms of a strategy, I think one strategy for me, again, is not making it hard. So pick something that you love, whatever it is, and talk about that. Just share about it with people. It doesn't have to be about your business necessarily. Yes, we should post about our business, particularly, so I'm talking about Facebook. I'm thinking of that because that is one of the easiest and freest ways, most free, available ways that anybody can go and start having people see them. Write about something that matters to you. And it could be about, you know, an adorable thing that you witnessed. Let people get to know you is what I'm trying to say. So that's a strategy that I would just offer to anybody as you're trying to find your way. Some of what will happen is if you share about what matters to you, then people will tell you what they're interested in. You'll get to discover what you want to share about, and it'll kind of grow, and you'll develop an understanding of what it is that you're trying to communicate. So I would just offer that. Now, I'm excited to say that I am launching my first published book. It's not my first manuscript, but my first whole book of my own I'm launching at the end of this month. It's Sacred Musings Volume 1, so be on the lookout for it, and I'll be definitely posting about it and sharing about it. And Sacred Musings is queries for connecting body, mind, and spirit. So be on the lookout for that. I'm so excited about it, and it's going to be a lot of fun to share it and to put my baby out in the world in that way. One of the easiest ways to catch up with me is on Facebook, and my regular Facebook page is just my name. It's Candice, which my mother was very creative, and I bless her for that. And actually, the piece around that you talked about, Tina, with me and how I put words in context, I got that from my mama, because when I was a kid and I would go to my mom and say, "Mom, what does mediate mean?" She was like, go figure it out. She said, "What do you think it means?" That was always her question to me. What do you think it means? So I had to go, and I couldn't go to the dictionary. I had to figure it out from what I was reading. And so she taught me to be able to unpack what I was reading and go deeper into it. So I got that from my mom, and I love her for that. I also got the very unique spelling of my name as I come back from the aside that I just took, which is Candas, Candice, as opposed to all of the other ways that Candice is so lovingly spelled. Mine is Candas, Ifama, IFAMA. So Facebook.com/Candice Ifama, or my fan page is Candice the Wordsmith. Again, Candas the Wordsmith, because I am that. I really am, and I know that, and can't nobody do nothing about it.
Mic drop.
Oh my. So as you guys can see, it's a party with these two. So
Yes.
and you know, I'm ever so grateful because I can't go and really do my charge in the world. I mean, I've been doing what I do for a long time, and you know, for a long time all I did was concentrate on the clients that was attracted to me from word of mouth. So, you know, I'm blessed. I had one client refer me to the next one, refer me to the next one, and the next one, and then they don't leave. So, you know, the nest just kept building. But when you have seen many clients come in and they are so discouraged because so many people have taught them the wrong way, or you know, they really took their money and they got nothing out of it. You want to make sure that you can help more people so that they can live their dream. And so the only way I can do that is by the supportive, loving, generous team that I have, and these two ladies are part of it. I mean, you know, I can't leave out the ones that are, you know, that see me every day, because if I do that, they would kill me. But these two ladies really helped me get the word out, because I just wouldn't have the time. And everybody knows that when you're in front of me as my client, I'm concentrating on you. So I can't concentrate on writing my content because I'm concentrating on you and what you have going on. So if you're looking to get your message out and you're like me, you're busy doing what you do, you want to contact one of these ladies. You heard what they do. You heard their perspective of it. It is so important in growing your business because you have to show you know what you're talking about, and these ladies can help you do that. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. And for all of you that are watching, of course, this replay will be available on YouTube. You can get to it through my site, which is Tina Brinkley Potts. And to reach me on Facebook, it's exactly the same, facebook.com/Tina Brinkley Potts.
Before we go, I just have to say that you all who are watching this, you probably already know this, but if you don't, Tina Brinkley Potts is a master business strategist, and I cannot tell you how she's changed my life working with her, and how it just every day, literally every day, my life is enhanced by the work that we've done together. And I hear her voice in my head, and she knows me very well. So when I'm the client, because not only am I her support on her support team, I'm also her client. And when it's my turn to be the client, she will say to me, "I know you over there rolling your eyes," because I am. But it's because she speaks the truth, and she wants what you want for you. And so I would just encourage you to jump on board with her, to jump on board with my sister Yolanda, who is phenomenal at what she does. You know, use us until you use us up. That's what we're here for.
Oh, you're going to have her break out in song again.
I was trying to look for that LTD song. Yeah. Concentrate on you.
Yeah, so you get ready to have her break out. Yeah.
Concentrate on you, baby.
Yes. So Of course, as
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys can see, we have a love fest going on around here.
Yes.
But it really is time for you to get your message out to the world. There all of the barriers you may think you have into doing it, you don't have. So if writing happens to be one of those barriers, it should not be a barrier anymore. There are people who are available to do it and who won't make you feel, as Yolanda so eloquently said, robotic. I think that was so perfect because
Yes.
sometimes you read these blog posts and you're like, somebody really write this, or did they just throw words in a hat? And but yeah, so use these ladies, and if you have any other show topics, you will be able to submit them on tinabrinkleypotts.com. If you want to reach them, if there's questions you want to ask them, please reach out to them or to me, and I'll make sure that they know those questions. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Thank you. Good
Love
night.
you more. Bye, ladies. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you, Earth.